So the economy is collapsing. Mortgages have become a life sentence. This is a twisted carnival we live in the United States. But now the most terrifying news that most Americans are going to hear that really hits us in our heart vein, right? Fast food's collapsing. Wendy's is shutting down 350 locations. That's more than 5% of all the domestic locations in the United States. And why? It's not just Wendy's. We're seeing this happen across fast food right now as corporations are consolidating and franchises are shutting down. And why? Because they priced themselves out of the market. That's the easiest way to say it. That shit got too expensive. The thing is, fast food forgot where they came from, and they came from the trailer park. And they got a little too haughty for themselves, right? They started to get into the luxury market because it shouldn't cost $15 for a Big Mac meal. It shouldn't cost $15 for a slot bowl from Chipotle, and it sure as hell shouldn't charge $15 for Dave's Classic, or even if you get a large, kind of fries they get you are just still freaking too small, the smallest on the market. At least when you order Five Guys, they throw an extra cup of fries in the top just to convince you that the $20 you just spent on a small cheeseburger was worth it. They said the major demographic of people who eat at fast food restaurants are on the lower income spectrum. So what happens when you have that? What happens when you price them out? You don't have anybody buying your food. So of course, your sales are going to tank. Your profits are going to go down. You got to start coming up with things like $5 value meals because you don't have the balls to do what is right. And the right thing would be to bring back the dollar menu. Just do it. You can do it. You can afford to do it. We don't need you to have escalating profits every year. Just have the same amount of awesome profits every year and you're going to be fine. But no, you got greedy and you turn your back on the poors. And the poors are exactly what you needed. But you got to love it because Wendy's, they sold us that whole, fresh, never frozen beef thing. The cheeky commercials, the Twitter wars were fantastic back in the day. Wendy's always got a little bit spicy on there, going after other brands. But sales dropped nearly 5%. So what do? They come out and say, okay, we're going to start closing up the weak spots here. The locations that aren't doing so good, the ones where there's no customers going in, we're just going to shut those down. And where's that going to be? In poor communities, because people terrifyingly can't afford what's supposed to be cheap fast food anymore. So the only places that are going to have that are going to be the wealthier areas where they actually can still have the foot traffic because people can't afford it. But essentially they're saying that they're going to pull the rug out from those low income communities while still doubling down at selling the same products at the same price points in other locations. But the thing is, they're saying that this is a fresh start, that this is actually going to make Wendy's better, that they're going to reinvest in the remaining restaurants. It's like, yeah, sure you will. No, any extra profits are just going to go to the shareholders like they always do. You don't give a shit. As long as you can sling your gross burgers that reduce the average American's lifespan by 20 years, as long as you can sling those and people keep buying them, you don't care what the building looks like. You can sell it out of a truck as long as it's making a profit. You'd be happy. But like I said, this isn't just a Wendy's problem. This is symbolic to kind of the whole economy right now. This is a mainstream chain, right? This is one of the biggest chains that used to be affordable to consumers from all walks of life, saying that they can't operate in these conditions anymore. They can't operate this business model anymore. We have to remember that we are in a world where the food prices keep increasing. Workers keep demanding better pay. You, my friend, have less money to spend. That means you're not going out as much. You're not spending $7 on a Frosty because you have to be like, well, that $7 can go to my rent. But Wendy sees that and they're like, well, that's not good. Traffic is down. Our value perception is going down. So we got to start closing some stores here. Like I said, this isn't just affecting them. Chipotle's big slot bowls are getting hit too. So Gen Z millennials just aren't going to Chipotle anymore. It's great. I love Chipotle. I love stealing their hot sauce. But the prices have just gotten a bit too much. Young people aren't ditching burrito places like Chipotle to go to a cheaper burrito place. They're just, honestly, they're learning how to cook at home, which is a better thing. It's going to make Americans more healthy, but it hurts the bottom line, baby. Well, why is that? Well, it's because you have student loans, wages are stagnant, food inflation is absolutely brutal, and you get less for what you pay for. And dining out's just no longer a small treat, right? It's a major financial decision for a lot of people. So when the Chipotle CEO comes out and says, hey, we're not losing our customers to competition, we're losing it to the grocery stores, we're losing it to, just meals at home, it's rough. It's going to be in a bad spot, because how do you come back from that? The proliferation of fast food over the past couple of decades was dependent on it being cheap, right? It was so cheap that it was actually cheaper to go ahead and buy fast food, than it was to go actually cook the stuff at home. But now that's not the case anymore. So people are going to do what's financially best for them. I mean, for the most part, unless you're an idiot or lazy or just both. And they're just going to make their food at home. And like I said, this is a good thing. It's going to make a healthier nation. Fast food is a plague to American health. But of course, it's going to cause the entire industry to be in trouble. You see, this matters because this highlights a cultural shift and financial shift more than anything else. It says that eating out, even eating at a casual spot like Wendy's or Chipotle, these decisions are being reevaluated. The system that said, work hard, make money, and treat yourself at night, that system is crumbling. Because Gen Z and millennials, they don't have the disposable income to treat themselves at night. They have to be more frugal with their decisions. They begin to treat these things like luxuries, as they should, even for health reasons. Fast food should never be a staple of anyone's diet. But what that does mean is that the chains that are dependent on high volume with thin margins and young, hungry consumers is just vulnerable. What we're seeing really is just a ripple effect of the entire economy right now as people really, pull in the belt a little bit. People say food insecurity, housing stress, student debt, and the chains feel it. Wendy's hears it. Chipotle sees it, and you see it and you feel it when you drive past one of these places that you probably used to love. Everyone loves some Wendy's. Everyone loves, not the baked potato, it's ridiculous. Everyone loves some Chipotle. When you drive by it and you're like, nah, I'm just going to make something at home tonight. The shareholders feel that. Fast food chains were once the backbone of the everyday man's economy. It used to be a chain that said that you don't have to be rich, you just need $5 and you're in. But guess what? That's gone now. The inputs of these businesses have pushed costs of production up so much that, that cost is pushed onto the consumer. But the thing is, consumers, people like you and me, we question whether these prices have gone up so high, because you're going to tell us that you built your entire empire selling cheap burgers and cheap burritos. But now all of a sudden, those prices need to triple or quadruple. People are skeptical at best. We know that the economy is what it is. We know that tariffs have an impact on food staples and the ingredients of all the foods that we're buying from. We know that the cost of wages have gone up, but not that much. So people are just wondering why they're being asked to pay for the same slop, usually in a smaller portion, but pay 3 or 4 times more the price. They're just not going to. You can pick up some Bubba burgers from an Aldi's and make your own at home. See, Wendy's is getting hurt and they're closed now, but they're doubling down. Gen Z's not buying Chipotle anymore, and that's a huge red flag, because this is supposed to be the group, this is supposed to be the generation that'll buy anything because it's brand loyal. When that brand loyalty goes away, and that's supposed to be a feature of the generation, it's a big problem. And Wendy's can close down all the stores they want, but that's just chopping down branches on a tree that doesn't give any fruit. In the end, it's not going to get you anywhere. I'm going to have to say, and honestly, listen, I love some fast food. I truly do. I think it's great every now and then. Should it be a staple of your diet? Of course not. But I love it. But to be honest, America has a problem saying no to cheap food. And maybe it is good. I would argue that it's great that people actually learn how to cook, because there's some amazing stuff you can do when you know how to work with ingredients. And it's sad to say, and I know anyone who's been in the dating game for the past 10 years or so knows that people just don't know how to cook anymore. I mean, if you're going to go out, if you're going to have dinner together, expect to go out, because neither party usually knows how to cook. That's why my wife is so lucky to have someone like me. My grilled cheese sandwiches are impeccable. But take it as an opportunity. If you're looking at fast food and you're like, I can't afford this anymore, don't look at it like it's a bad thing. Look how to be more thrifty with your spending. Look online for different recipes. Not all recipes, call for 30, 40 ingredients. Most recipes just need 4, 5, 6 things in time. And I know that that's the biggest asset that people are being starved of right now is time. But the more you learn how to cook, the easier it becomes, the less time it takes. So I don't think it's just a hobby. I think it is an asset that most people should try to develop more. Just being able to cook. As silly as that sounds, it is a way that you can really improve your life. Not just your health, but your finances as well. But I don't know. Tell me, you guys, what you think. What's your favorite fast food out there? See, me personally, I'm a Jack in the Box guy. I've been a Jack in the Box guy since I was a kid. I don't like most of their food. I just like their egg rolls. I don't know what it is. It's just really good. They're really bad. They're trashy. I like Chipotle. It's just expensive. Cafe Rio used to be great, but I think they shut all those down. Del Taco's trash. Love some Whataburger. In-N-Out's fine. Listen, I'm not in that competition. That's not my world. I'll get what I can take. And the Popeyes chicken sandwich is good. But you can never go wrong with some basic bitch Chick-fil-A's either. It's God's chicken. But let me know what you guys think. Long, crazy day. I hope you guys have a good one. If you're still here at this point, like and subscribe. Leave a comment, share, hype. It helps us with the algorithm. Think about becoming a member, give a donation. But just, have fun out there. But that's all we got today, guys. Weekend's winding down. Work week begins tomorrow. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care.